Good morning. This is JC the hippie, and I don't know if you've heard yet or not, but the government is going to shut down Saturday if a funding bill is not passed. Well, Elon Musk and the Muskrat is he's called here. He put his nose in and he talked to Johnson, and the two of them decided they're not going to allow the spending bill to pass, so the government's going to shut down this Saturday. And if it does, guess what? Social Security recipients will not get their paychecks. Enlisted military and probably officers too in military will not get their paychecks. Government workers in different departments won't get their paychecks. Some of them in different departments may be furloughed and without pay. All kinds of bad things could happen if the debt ceiling is not increased with a spending bill. And because of that, you could thank Elon Musk, the Muskrat. I'm going to read you a little bit about this. Sure looks like, I'm going to start here. Can the Muskrat, Elon Musk, shut the United States government down? The answer is yes. It sure looks that way. The richest person in the world has turned his wealth into raw power. That's what oligarchy looks like. We now live in the United States of oligarchy. It's not the United States of America. It's not a republic. It's not a democracy. It is an oligarchy. And that man right there in the picture on the right ought to have somebody put their fist through those sunglasses and flatten his nose on his cheek. And here's the thing. Robert Reich wrote this. He's a renowned economist. He said if the government shuts down Saturday, Elon Musk will be largely to blame. Yes, he will. Musk went on a day-long rampage yesterday against continuing resolution drafted by House Speaker Mike Johnson and his leadership team to keep the government going. Musk posted nearly nonstop on his social media platform X about how lawmakers must kill it. Any member of the House or Senate who votes for this outrageous spending bill deserves to be voted out in 2 years, Musk wrote in one post. That's his big threat now. His big threat is he could use his money to run a primary against you so that you don't get to come back to Congress in 2 years if you don't vote the way Musk wants you to vote. Somebody's got to stop this asshole. I don't care who you are. Somebody out there has got to stop Musk. They got to stop him cold in his tracks. If you get my gist. Musk is the richest person in the world. Was joined by his posting spree by another billionaire, Vivek Ramaswamy, whom Trump asked to partner with Musk in an effort to slash government spending and reduce the federal budget deficit. Those two people are not part of our federal government. They should be in no way sticking their nose into what's happening in the United States of America and to the government of that republic. And it says Republicans gauging support for the legislation said they were bleeding votes as a result of Musk's barrage. Then after Musk spent the day telling Republicans not to support the bill, Trump weighed in against it too. That put the bill on life support. If this isn't oligarchy, I don't know what is. I don't either. This is oligarchy. You may not get access to services you depend on just before the holidays because an unelected billionaire shadow president wanted it that way. Funding for essentials will be jeopardized. Disaster relief, clean water protections, food safety inspections, cancer research, and nutrition programs for children. Federal workers and air traffic controllers will be required to work without pay just as air travel is about to pick up. The same goes for members of our military. Musk effectively blocked the government spending bill by mobilizing 205 million followers on X, then using his influence on Trump. Influence he bought by spending more than $270 million getting Trump elected. Yet Musk's concern about the federal deficit seems to disappear whenever Trump and MAGA Republicans talk about passing tax cuts that will disproportionately benefit billionaires like Musk. Tax cuts, I might add, that will balloon the deficit by $5 trillion. We're getting a preview of what's the next 4 years will look like, the dysfunction in D.C. That will make your life worse, driven by a petulant billionaire with an unquenchable thirst for wealth and power. As I said, he needs to be stopped cold, C-O-L-D, in his tracks. A billionaire wielding his influence over the rest of us proves we are in a second Gilded Age. But there may be a silver lining to this Gilded Age cloud. The lesson of the first Gilded Age is that when concentrated wealth, corruption, and ensuing hardship for average working Americans become so blatant that they offend the values of the majority of us, we rise up and demand real systematic change. It's only a matter of time. A government shutdown that hurts average working people, engineered by the richest person in the world, might just hasten it. And if you've ever read Upton Sinclair and some of the books that were about I say anywhere from the 1880s to the 1920s, all the stories of child labor, pregnant women working 10, 12, 14 hours a day in hot, nasty factories, and children working in slaughterhouses. There were no child labor laws, we're headed back that way. Look up the author, Upton Sinclair. I can't remember the name of his book, but you should read it. I read it when I was in my American history class years ago. And I'll tell you what, the things that happened to the laborers during that time period is coming back, people. And we can't let it. It's time to rise up. It's time for a revolution. I'm too old to go out in the streets, but if I have to, I will go out in the streets. We need to hit the streets like we did in the 60s. Millions of us show up and riot and protest and do whatever's necessary to show these rich oligarchs they can't run our country. So please understand, we have to go out and protest this. And if that means violence, then violence is what it is. This is JC, St. Louis' oldest living hippie, saying, fuck you, Musk, fuck you, Ramaswamy, and fuck you, Donald Trump. And to my friends, family, and followers, I love you all. Poxamore Jack.